The old Bombay, you heard of the Bombay? These are panniers. And I've locked them to stop people opening them. Can I open it? Okay. And you put panniers in there, but there was a plan I was told, to put bombs. Oh, that's getting a bit serious if you're bombing them from a glider, isn't it? Yes. Desperate times and desperate measures.
You want to drop the load before you go down. What's the wacko?
The wacko is the Hadrian. It was an American glider, and you'll see that. It's different construction, and it was mainly troops. It didn't really carry
any weaponry.
Freight very well, but he did. He did have freight.
When I was last here, it was almost complete horses standing here.
Yeah. Well, the complete fuselage has been taken away. We'll go to another hangar, and we will see our display area as it is at the moment.
Down here we're building the wings for the Horsa.
Yes.
This is as far as we've got to work in this house at the moment. This stuff seems ready to come to get to go.
What wood are you using? Is anything special with wood?
It's supposed to be birch.
Yes.
Birch ply cutting.
Yes.
Beech for the framework.
Yes.
But we couldn't get all to the beech in the quantities we wanted, so we're using Douglas fir.
Oh.
So we've reduced the size of the ribs.
Yes.
Yeah. To keep the right weight. So there should be no double that size normally. But the difference in the wood, they're still as strong. Yeah. But we have to keep the weight the same.
Will they be flyable?
It would be flyable.
They're built as if they were...
Everything will work on these, but we're not allowed to fly it. Health and safety have made us cut holes in our air tanks.
Yeah. And the Royal Air Force doesn't provide kamikaze pilots. It's a one-off.
Yeah. You're working to the original plans.
Oh, tell them about the plans, Brian. This is a hilarious story.
And what have you had to do? Go back and modify things? Or?
Well, them are the original figures which we worked to, which didn't work out. So we had to start stripping them down and modifying them, making them to fit, which is what we've been doing all the way through now.
Just slow things up quite a bit.
It has, yeah. But we're getting there.
Picking off the street.
Brian and his team are doing. They've got one original.
Yes.
I think that's an original, isn't it, Brian?
That's an original, yeah.
And they're fabricating everything. So it is not an original aeroplane, it's a replica. Although there are certain original parts.
Yes.
There are flaps that have been refurbished and one or two other things that have been. And the beauty of this is when we find somewhere for it to go, hopefully the RAF Museum, is that it's a living exhibit. Children can get on board, they can feel what it was like, and they can break it. And it doesn't matter, we go and get a bit more Douglas fir and we repair it. Whereas every other exhibit at the RAF Museum is probably a unique specimen, and therefore they're not even allowed to put fingerprints on it. You know? And of course we'll be able to get on board the glider, but we'd have to ask you to wear helmets for health and safety. But you then think about it, how difficult it is for us just to get in and out on a visit. Think about the troops that were doing it when they had all their kit, and they're fabulous people.
You can imagine the time we spent just making that, just going right round to that.
Have you got a planer thicknesser to get them spot on? You wouldn't do all that with a wood plane.
Well, we've got just a handheld planer that we just roughly
finish off with.
On that.
No, I mean the individual pieces.
The actual individual piece, that piece was full width. The next one we had it a little bit narrower, so this edge was stepped, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And then we just round it off.
Do you buy those in like that, or do you have to manufacture the length of strip? You know, like
this?
No,
we just have big 9x4 planks.
Oh no!
And then put it together. We put it together again.
Oh my God!
So when the aileron goes up, this goes down. So it assists the pilot all the time. So this has all now got to be fabric. All of the bits that are going to touch the fabric have to be wrapped and tied in the same stuff.
Yeah, because it was
And
rub
then,
and
then the skin put over the.
The idea of this is to take it round air shows and let people sit in it, and the controls that are joined together, and there are bungees that give forces control. People could actually sit in and see why they needed two pilots, because they needed two pilots for the strength at times.
Oh yeah, I bet.
That has changed now because we don't really have transport, and the gentleman, I think it's the same gentleman, who's got a private sort of collection of Horsa bits and pieces. He came over and brought some things to us earlier on in the year and took away some bits that we got that we didn't need anymore. And he said he would like it, but it's a matter of him coming, and he'd take it in this condition, he would finish it, and he would then put it on display. You know, we've actually done another nose section, but up to, you know, exhibit standard, and we've given that to the Silent Wings Museum in Lubbock, Texas.
Oh, right.
And that's why we've got a lot of the bits of the Hadrian, the Wacko, they've given us things from camp, and therefore if they had a Jeep on board, they had to push it to the door, then they had to turn it round, and then to push it out with people shooting at them. And
Yes.
the two had hinges here, so once they landed, if they hadn't overtaken the cockpit and crashed it, they swung it over. Because you could get rid of the tail, I believe, as well. There were special bolts, they call them explosive bolts, which were really, they were cone-shaped nuts that went onto the bolt. So the cone went into a recess, and you had a special spanner, I think like a spanner, like a plumber spanner, with two little lugs on it, and you opened, and as you unwound the nut, the cone shape was retracted from the hole and up to a point, and it was in two pieces, and it fell apart. So it broke open very quickly.
You only need a fraction of a
Turn, and that was it. Yeah. Original airframe, restored. Oh, do you? Really? Well, the gentleman who, Brian Howlett, who made this, who again is a brilliant engineer, it's not complete. Like the innards of the magnetos, I think those are there blocks of wood. And it does such a great job that they decided to keep it out rather than put it in out of the way. Now, he made that. He made a jig.
Some of the original.
No, well, he must be a rich man. He made a jig, he laminated the wood, and then made a jig to machine it. So he's actually made
I would
that.
have presented it. I bought it for £10 from
Yeah. This is the bomb bay, the pannier bay, and we carried panniers like this thing here. But they found that was a nuisance because wings broke off, and it was difficult to access. So they really wanted what they had to fight with inside with them. Okay. Exploded when they were in. Because of the damage, it went straight through. Like the reason that was it in the Battle of Britain?
Yep.
The hurricanes could take a lot more punishment than
the Wellingtons as well could
Oh yeah, yeah. The Wellingtons were because really of their canvas, but their geodetic formation.
They didn't lose any strength in the structure.
No. So they could take the punishment, whereas with the hurricanes, the cannon shells went through and didn't explode. You know, so they were.
Well, the same thing happened in the Falklands, didn't it? When they sent the Exocet missile at one of the aluminium destroyers, it went straight through.
Oh yeah, because we have the tools. Not one of the. We're starting to put the pneumatics in, and one of our experts is actually making the pipe work and bending the pipes, you know, to fit and go round. They couldn't drill through these; they didn't want to weaken them, so I think they went around a lot of them. But imagine, you know, 26 blokes sitting there with the hobnail boots, the puttees.
Would there be a substantial kill down there, or is it these all what there is? Or is
This is all that you see. The ammunition boxes were in the middle. Now,